The federal government has announced that as of June 20th, you won't need to prove your vaccine status to travel by plane or train. It also applies to international trips and to federal employees who will no longer have to prove they've been vaccinated. But what will that do for workplace dynamics? For more on this, I'm joined by Nita Chhinzer, an associate professor at the University of Guelph in Ontario. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's an important topic.
So as a human resources expert, what were your first thoughts when you heard the mandate was being lifted?
I thought it was great, and I definitely thought it was about time because I'm hearing a lot of employers talk about the labor shortage and the difficulties that are going on with the federal government, number of employees, the backlog that's caused, and I'm really excited to see people have the opportunity to go back to work.
In an ideal world, we would all just get along. But what professional advice do you have for managers and coworkers dealing with conflict related to vaccines?
I think that when it comes to the federal government, there was about 2% of the population of employees who were off, either because they chose to not disclose their vaccine status or they hadn't been fully vaccinated. And what I would recommend managers do here is try to eliminate any of the stigma and embrace those employees as part of the workforce, because there may be some underlying tensions or conflicts between people who continue to work and those who were on an unpaid leave. Likewise, the people who are coming back may be somewhat apprehensive about the workplace environment. So ensuring that we're still providing safe measures at work and an opportunity to speak up if we feel that our workplace health and safety is being violated can help.
More generally, with the return to the office, more people going back to their workplaces, what kind of dynamics can we expect as people reintegrate into the workplace?
I think that getting people back to the office means that we're going to have to create opportunities for informal conversations. And we would expect the dynamic to be a little bit hesitant at the start, but as people begin to realize that they were missing the workplace environment and that workplace isolation is now gone, we need to give opportunities for them to speak to each other. So I would expect to see a lot more conversations at the coffee locations, informal conversations before and after meetings, and some of that fabric of society that went into the workplace reintegrating. I think that when it comes to the workplace, there may be a stigma and a judgment that needs to be overcome. And oftentimes, if we get involved with addressing the stigma right off the bat or addressing some of the team conflict right off the bat, then we can table it and move forward. And I think that a lot of managers should take that action when they do reintegrate their work from home employees, as well as the ones who are working on location, to ensure that you are addressing the elephant in the room. Otherwise, we may have opportunities here where that stigma can turn into hostility.
What will happen if the federal government were to reintroduce the mandate should another COVID variant or significant wave arise?
I think if the government were to reintroduce the vaccine mandate or the occupational health and safety issues around the vaccines, I think that organizations will have policies in place to deal with requests for accommodations. And this time they won't be completely caught off guard. So they'll just re-implement their policies. And I think employees who were initially at home for a variety of reasons, reasonable accommodations, will return back to that, because I believe that the next time if this type of an issue does happen, it will be perceived as a temporary issue or something that we have a workaround for.
All right. Thank you so much for this, Nita.
No problem. Thanks for your time.